Hey you guys, it's Kaylee. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a what sold from last week. If you guys are new here, I'm an online reseller. I go to thrift stores, I pick up items for cheap, and I flip them on sites like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. If you're interested in learning how to resell online, my channel is all about reselling. I talk about how to get started, things that you can look for at thrift stores, and then how to use the online platforms. So if you're not already, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you get notified as I make new content. So back into the sales, we are still just holding steady during summer slowdown. I gotta say, this is the best summer slowdown that I have ever had, and I all think it's due to super consistent listing, meaning that we are listing about the same amount every week, and we are really pushing ourselves to get those items up on each platform. I think you guys will see that in our sales, so let's jump in. I'm going to share my sales numbers with you, and then I've also picked a few items to show you that you can look for at your local thrift store. We'll talk about how much they sold for and why I picked them up. Let's get into it.
All right, you guys, so all of the sales that I am reporting to you right now happened between June 20th through the 26th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday. In total, I sold 75 items for a gross sales total of $2,590.43. This made my average sale price $34.54. My total cost of goods for everything that I sold last week was $306.83, which makes my average cost of goods $4.09. On eBay, I sold 39 items. On Poshmark, I sold 28. And on Mercari, I sold 8. On eBay, I sold almost $1,500. On Poshmark, $800. And on Mercari, just over $300. Now let's jump into some highlighted sales. It is worth mentioning that a lot of the stuff that I sold this past week, as well as stuff moving forward in the future, most of them are just everyday stuff that I'm coming across that just have really great sell-through rate. I'm not frequently anymore coming across home runs because I'm shopping mainly at the bins. There are a couple of home runs in here, but what you guys are going to see are mainly everyday items that, in my opinion, are pretty easy to come across. You just have to know which factors add value to these brands and which don't. So for instance, I sold this pair of Nike women's running shoes. What's significant about these fly knit material, this like stretchy knit material that you see here, and it also says fly knit on the tongue. This is very sought after in the brand Nike. So I almost always look after these. One of the things you want to be careful for is that none of the knit has a tear in it. If it does have a tear, I usually steer clear from it, but otherwise I pick it up even if there's a tiny bit of discoloration at the bottom, as long as there's still a little bit of tread left. And they do very, very well. I have these ones listed for $39.94. They sold on an offer for $35.95. For most of my items on eBay, I do charge shipping, but if you're interested, it does show here whether I charge shipping or not and about how much the buyer paid. I sold this pair of Free People pants. I am becoming a lot more selective on which Free People items that I pick up because I have noticed that that brand is starting to slow down and the average sale price for that brand is starting to decrease. However, moving into festival season, concerts, things like that, I have noticed a lot of people are really liking the high-rise kind of flare bottom, bell bottom pants. That's good for both jeans and also pull-on pants. So in Free People, I knew that these were pretty popular. So if you come across any Free People pants that are like pull-on bell bottoms, definitely worth looking into at a good price. These ones in particular were a pretty rare pattern. I did not see any exact comps of this specific print. So I listed mine a little bit higher. I had this listed at $39.94 and it did sell at my full asking price. And here's just an up close of that pattern. It's like a chocolatey paisley brown. But I'd say pretty much any Free People in this style, regardless of print, I would suggest picking up. They seem to have a pretty good sell-through rate. Next is this vintage boiler suit. This was back when boiler suits are still popular. I don't know, are they still popular now? I'm not sure, but this was definitely a really cool vintage one. I did look up Ari Cooper in boiler suits and saw that they were doing pretty good. This one had a very unique structure to it. It was kind of military, but it did have a little bit of stretch, kind of ruching smocking detail at the waist, which I think really helped to sell it. I use words like workwear, coverall, and utility. Had this listed for $49.93, and it did sell at my full asking price. This is a brand that I do like picking up, although when you check the sell-through rate on eBay, I don't particularly find that the numbers are there, but for me, this brand seems to do well. I think it's because the pieces I come across are very unique. So you can see here, this is like a novelty rose print, which I really think helped to sell this item. This did not take very long to sell, but again, I do think it was because of that novelty print. This I had listed for $34.95, and it did sell at my full asking price. I would do specific comps when looking at this brand, but it can bring a good return. Here's something I come across very frequently, and it is the Express Portofino shirt. So it always says the Portofino shirt underneath, and I pretty much pick these up when I get them for cheap. So in this case, I paid $1.99 for this at a regular thrift store on sale. This was just a plain white button-up shirt, but they have a really good sell-through rate. If you can find some better patterns or some more rare colors, you can ask for more. But I think in general, these go anywhere from like $15 to about $25. Again, depending on the print. So I try to only pick them up at the bins, or like I said, if I'm getting them for relatively cheap. So I paid about $2 for this one. It did sell for my full asking price of $28.99. I did include free shipping on this one, so it probably cost me about $3 to ship because they're pretty lightweight. But I would definitely keep an eye out. This is something you can come across pretty often, and I think a lot of people pass on it. This next one is the brand Obey. I definitely do not come across this brand very often, but they do have a pretty decent sell-through rate. This one even had a little spot on it, but the reason I decided to pick it up anyways was because it had a very unique graphic on it. You can see this Grim Reaper in a plane. I thought was really cool, and I didn't really see anything like it. Based on the background, you can tell I have been sitting on this for a little while, but I only paid 60 cents for it, and it did end up selling at my full asking price of $35. With this one, I did also include free shipping. A lot of the stuff that sold on eBay, I must have been during that time when I was listing things with free shipping to experiment. I did sell quite a few shorts, and during this time of the year, I pick up brands I wouldn't normally. One of those brands, and I show this a lot, but I definitely do not pick up everything in American Eagle, but the denim and the shorts tend to do well, especially during this time of the year. So these are the high-rise shorty. The style name is always on the inside. These were also a larger size in a size 10. Had these listed at $24.99 with free shipping, and they did sell at my full asking price. This is something I come across very often, and because I know it's such a quick flip, I'll even pick these up for $5 at the thrift store because, again, I know what my price point is, and I can get them listed very quickly. These next two items are by Old Navy, which I'm sure is a brand you don't hear a lot of people talking about because they think it doesn't sell, but it actually can sell very well if you know what you're looking for. So these are the Old Navy boyfriend straight jeans. The style name is on the inside. The reason I picked these up were because they were a larger size. They are size 16 and they have distressing. So you can kind of see that chewed hem there, as well as some distressing throughout the jeans. But with those two factors paired, I decided to pick these up because I thought it was really on trend. I only paid $1.99 for these. They sold very quickly on an offer for $22.42, and the buyer did pay shipping on these. So don't pass out on Old Navy all the time. You got to know what makes Old Navy sell. And in this case, it's the distressing and the larger size. Another Old Navy item that does very well for me are some novelty print sweaters, and this is true for a lot of mall brands. I've talked about it in some videos, but brands that you wouldn't normally pick up during fall and winter, if you find novelty print like animal print on the sweaters, I would definitely look them up. They're super easy to look up too. Like I just looked up Old Navy fox sweater and was able to find it pretty quickly. So easy to check sell-through rate, easy to see how much you're going to be able to sell it for. It's a win-win for me because I'm coming across these pretty often. So this is just a fox with glasses sweater is what I called it. This sold for an offer of $22.42 with the buyer paying shipping. This is an item that I recently picked up from the bins, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I priced it too low because it sold so quickly. So this is just a Nirvana beanie, and again I picked up the bins, so about $1. It did sell for full asking price very quickly of $19.96. Nirvana beanies have a really good sell-through rate, so I would recommend picking them up, especially when they are in good pre-owned condition like this one was. Next is a Karl Lagerfeld cardigan. This brand retails for a lot, but does not always resell for a lot. Picked this one up because it was a size extra large, and I was able to look up lace cardigan and decided to pick it up based on the solds. This one sold for full asking price of $29.99. This is also a brand I pick up if the style is there. This is the brand Hot Hippie. And I have had success with them in the past, although I would say, again, I don't pick up everything, but this dress is really beautiful. A nice floral silk, which, you know, all of those things are adding value in my opinion. Had this listed for $49.99 and it did sell at my full asking price. Moving on to some Poshmark sales, this is just a Wrangler leather wallet, and I think a lot of people pass on wallets, and I don't know why, because they're usually like $1 to $2. Wrangler is an item you probably wouldn't think would sell, but when it's factored with leather and this Aztec print, it did very well. So this ended up selling for $22, and again, I think I picked it up for $1 or $2, and it's super easy to list. This is a Tolani kimono. This is a brand I haven't heard of much, but I guess it's sometimes sold on Anthropologie. At least that's what the comps told me, but who knows, those can be wrong sometime. This one was new with tags though, and I thought it was just a really gorgeous print for a kimono, so I decided to pick it up. This ended up selling very quickly for $35. In general, I would recommend this brand Tolani in kimonos. Next is this ModCloth. I was actually able to find the style name. It's called the Sociable Scholar Jumper Dress. And the reason I picked this up was because it was a size 3X and it was just a super cute design. This had a lot of interest, as you can see here, not just on Poshmark, but also on eBay as well as Mercari. But it did end up selling on Poshmark for $28. Here's another pair of shorts. These ones are just by Abercrombie & Fitch. They are a button fly, and again with the distressing and the shorty shorts. These sold for $22. This is a Vera Bradley bag. Now I just want to say I got this for $1 from a consignment shop, and it was in the heat of the moment and I was just throwing things into my bag because there were so many people and it was like Black Friday. And again, I only paid $1 for it. In general, I don't pick up Vera Bradley. I guess I'm kind of scared of the brand because I don't know what the styles are called. I don't know what the prints are called, but this one seemed to be a newer kind of print. It was very tropical and I figured it would do well in the summer. I'm kind of reconsidering picking up Vera Bradley in the future, depending on, you know, the different prints, because this sold very quickly at $31, which is an amazing return on investment. These were a really great pickup. I found these at the bins, and they are just a pair of Chubbies color block boys, meaning youth, swim trunks. This brand, you guys, men's, women's, kids, definitely pick it up. Like the craziest sell-through rate you can imagine. I sold these kids pair of used shorts for $30. Craziness. If you come across Chubbies, definitely look it up. You would be absolutely shocked at the sell-through rate. Moving on to some Mercari sales. I just want to say that on Mercari, I do include free shipping on almost all of my items, so keep that in mind as I'm telling you the prices. This one is an American Eagle cardigan. This is like an oversized kind of croppy button-up, which is a style that I do recommend you pick up. It seems to be pretty popular, and on Mercari, seems to have, this brand seems to do really good on Mercari. People like American Eagle on Mercari. This one sold for $22. This is that Beretta quilted hunting jacket that Nikki found at the bins, and this sold for $64. I'll show you guys the tag. Again, it's called Beretta. So if you guys do come across this, definitely worth looking into, especially when it's this like quilted half leather jacket. So $64, again with free shipping. This is something I picked up for style. This is just by the brand BCBG Max Azria, which is definitely not something that I pick up often, but it sold for $28 with free shipping. I picked it up because it was a size large. It was kind of like a beachy, Aztec-y cover-up, and it did extremely well. Again, not something I would always pick up, but the style and the construction of this garment was really nice. This is my first time I think, finding a Lucky Brand leather bag, at least one that was this simple, and you guys, they sold really well. This one even had a little bit of marks on the edge of the leather. I almost left it behind at the thrift store because of that, but Nikki talked me into going ahead and getting it. I'm glad I did because it sold very quickly at $40. So Lucky Brand leather handbags, definitely worth doing a comp on. Here's a Betsey Johnson bag that I picked up at the bins. I gotta say, I come across Betsey Johnson quite often, and I hardly ever pick it up because, you know, most pieces the sell-through rate isn't there. However, skull print has been doing extremely well for me in a lot of brands, so I went ahead and looked up Betsey Johnson skull handbag and saw that this exact one had sold. This one ended up selling for my full asking price of $39, and this was just something that someone threw back at the bins. It's not even real leather, it's just faux leather. So if you come across Betsey Johnson skull print things, I'd say look into it. This is a pair of Topshop, which is not a brand I pick up often, but the style name is right here, called the Moto Jamie jeans. And when it comes to these styles with the floral, they did have a good sell-through rate. These ones ended up selling for $34 with free shipping. These shorts might look familiar, but they are not the same short that I already sold. They are actually another pair of these shorts that I found like the next week. These ones sold for $45 with free shipping, and they did go first class. I cannot tell you guys how much I love selling this brand. They are called 10,000. So if you come across them, definitely look into it. This is like what I can tell their logo is to identify them. And then on the inside of the short is the style name. These are called the interval shorts. But yeah, they have an outstanding sell-through rate. I did not realize what they were until I saw this on the inside and looked it up. But the brand is called 10,000, and I highly recommend that you pick them up if you come across them.
Alright, so that was it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how summer slowdown is going for you. Is it actually a slowdown? Are you doing better? Is it the typical summer slowdown? I want to know down below. As I mentioned before, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified as new content goes live. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.